And whatever her MILTANK got randomized to will of course be much better than actual MILTANK. That's the good thing about randomizing Generation 2. You have a very high chance of not having to deal with the MILTANK. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the HeartGold Randomizer Nuzlocke. It's Infernoman again, and if you missed in the last episode, we went from Azalea City? Azalea Town. Either one of those. I always get it wrong if it's town or city, but we came from there basically is what I'm trying to say. We battled our rival for the second time, made it through the whole route over in that direction, and got a couple encounters. So if you missed that episode, make sure you go check that out if you haven't already. But if you guys are excited for this episode, smash the like button, subscribe if you're brand new to the channel, and let's get into the team recap. I did not press the select button, Professor Oak. You better shut your mouth right now. There we go. Team recap. So we got Dumbean the Steelix with Tackle, Rock Throw, Bind, and Mud support. Olga the Hypno with Pound, Hypnosis, Headbutt, and Confusion. Rye the Fampy with Tackle, Flail, Takedown, and Rollout. Tails the Float Cell with Sonic Boom, Water Gun, Swift, and Pursuit. Box the Ferret with Quick Attack, Scratch, Cut, and Giga Drain. And last but not least, Nala the Luxray with Tackle, Bite, Charge, and Spark. So today, of course, since we're already here in Goldenrod City, we're going to be checking on the third gym, which is Whitney's gym. And I don't remember getting to this point in HeartGold. I know I've played the full game before, but the gym is definitely different in HeartGold than it is in the original games. Most of the gyms are completely different, or at least slightly different than their gold and silver counterparts. But this one is only a little bit different. It seems like it has pretty much the same map. It's just you have to take a different route. And there's my favorite Pokemon of all time right there. That's pretty cool. That one will obviously be number 1 on my top 10 favorite Hoenn Pokemon list. Do we? I don't think we really have anything for grass types. I'm just now realizing this. Definitely not Tails. I guess we could switch to Nala. That's not a terrible idea. Speaking of which, from what I said about Sceptile being my favorite Hoenn Pokemon, if you missed Saturday's video is the sequel to my video from a couple weeks ago, where I ranked my top 10 favorite Kanto Pokemon, and then gave a grading to each of their shinies, gave a grade for each of their shinies, and of course the sequel to that video would be my top 10 favorite Johto Pokemon, and that's exactly what I did. So if you did not see that episode, I would greatly appreciate if you could check it out. I think that my top 10 favorite Johto Pokemon is pretty diverse. I had a couple Pokemon that not a lot of people say is necessarily their favorite. So we're learning Rock Tomb now for Dumbean. We'll get rid of Bind. But yeah, it would be greatly appreciated if you could go check that out. I'd be very thankful. And there was also an episode of Super Mario Sunshine that went up yesterday if you want to check that out as well. Milotic. Okay, we'll stay in, of course. Nala's the best option on our team for water types here. We'll use Spark, of course, because that's the only electric type move that is an actual attack. Charge just raises special attack. So I decided just to give myself a refresher on what it's like to do a Nuzlocke on your own time rather than in front of a camera. I spent the last day and a half doing an Omega Ruby Randomizer Nuzlocke. I decided to randomize it because of the new randomizer that's out. That's a Pidgeot, right? Oh, Chad type. It's still a flying type, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, I beat it already, of course. I had it fast-forwarded the whole time, just so it would go faster. But it was nice. I gained a lot more respect for a few Pokemon from Hoenn. I definitely like Leafeon a bit more, because Leafeon was my starter. And, you know, it was a really fun playthrough to do, and it just gave me a refresher on how important types are, because usually when I'm doing the Nuzlocke in front of a camera, I don't have a lot of time to actually think about things 100%, and being involved with team matchups and stuff like that without being in front of a camera, you know, I realized the importance of some special moves rather than physical attacks, some stat-changing moves, other things like that. I came up with some strategies in some senses and stuff. I just really enjoyed that playthrough, and I only chose Omega Ruby because Omega Ruby is the game that I did first on the channel, and I'm probably won't be doing an Omega Ruby specifically playthrough anytime soon on the channel, so I just decided to go with that one, and it was a lot of fun. The funniest part though is that the randomization for ORAS is different in some places compared to let's see, what are we gonna use for this? I'll just switch out to Tails. The randomization in ORAS is a little bit different than X and Y, so every legendary isn't randomized to another legendary, and when you select to randomize Mega Evolutions to other Mega Evolutions, or Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, it does the same thing for legendaries too. So the Latios is Omega Ruby. The Latios was randomized to Camerupt, because that's another Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. And for Groudon, that one was... Okay, I'm now realizing this thing is not Psychic type, and when I was thinking Manaphy, I was thinking Mesprit for some reason, so we're switching out to Nala for the Electric type. But Primal Groudon was the funniest one because that was completely randomized, because, you know, Primal forms are not Mega Evolutions. They technically are, because they changed the form, but they don't take Mega Stones, they take the orbs, and it's just a different process, and it just completely changed it to a brand new Pokemon. And the punchline of this story basically is that it got randomized to a Pumpkaboo. I guess Primal Groudon got the memo that it's October or something by turning into a pumpkin, but I just thought it was hilarious. I was expecting some other legendary, or even that it would just randomize it to the other primal form if it was going to be a Primal Kyogre, or the third option if it wasn't even going to be randomized at all. But it randomized it to a completely different Pokemon, and that Pokemon happened to be a Pumpkaboo. And I did have evolutions randomized, by the way. But I just decided not to check what it would evolve into, because, you know, I was almost done with the game, and I didn't want to waste my time leveling it up so it could evolve, so... Which I'm pretty sure Pumpkaboo only evolves by trading anyway. Or is that just Phantom? I thought that Phantom and Pumpkaboo are like counterparts of each other. And that's just how the how evolution works with both of them. I could be wrong though. I know it's Phantom for sure, because when I got my shiny Phantom sword, I had to trade with my friend to evolve it. Am I going? Yeah, this... Okay. I don't know why it wasn't letting me through there. So how am I supposed to get through? Is there some path that I was missing here? This is probably a lot easier than I'm making it out to be. It's just the way that the camera is in the early games. It's just like I can't even see where I'm going. Yeah, there's definitely no way of getting around there that way. Maybe I'm just going in the wrong direction, and I'm supposed to get through this way. I don't know, man. What am I supposed to be doing? Oh, I'm stupid. I'm very stupid. Sorry if you got embarrassed for me there, but there's obviously a gateway right there, and I'm just stupid. It's fine, we're moving on. If you're wondering, no, I didn't get a haircut. I just had a shower like an hour before this, so my hair is still, you know, forming from being wet and washed and all of that. See, I know that there's rollout, but I'm kind of afraid of keeping it in because A, rollout doesn't stop until, you know, it decides to stop. And I don't know what this Houndoom could have. It's intimidating when you have only a Phanpy out. So I'll switch out to Dumbean. We'll still get experience for Phanpy, it's okay. Yeah, I'm planning on taking a while to let my hair grow out, so it's like super long, so you guys don't have to worry about me losing my hair. I don't think I've had my hair like super short since I think it was November. Okay, that can't kill. It got really close though, so thankfully Rock Throw did not miss. See, I only did it because I knew that since it wasn't yellow, unless there's a crit, there's a high chance that death wouldn't be happening, and thankfully I was right, but that's kind of scary. Oh, there's actual Groudon. Well, it's just plain ground type, so we'll switch up to Tails. I mean, even if it was... I used to have a perception which, like, a lot of people would agree that it's understandable that Groudon is a fire type. A fire ground type. I always thought it was a fire ground type. But only its primal form is fire ground type. So this is just plain ground type, but even if it was fire ground type, it would be quite effective with water guns, so yeah, that did a lot less than I was expecting. Let's see how much Sonic Boom does. Hopefully more. Lava Plume is a scary move. I mean, not that much against a water type, but we're burned, so that's one thing. Oh, I just wanted to see how strong it would be. I didn't want you to miss, you fool. Okay, surprisingly it does more than water... Well, not that much, surprisingly, but it did more than Water Gun. Sonic Boom is a strong normal type move. It's one of the strongest normal type moves, but I expected Water Gun to do a lot more than it did. Just not more than Sonic Boom. Boop, boop, boop. I'm afraid that it has a stronger fire type move. Oh, another funny thing that happened in that randomizer that I think would have been great if I was doing that as an actual Nuzlocke on the channel. Sadly, Roxanne caused the first death of my playthrough, which was my Primplup that I caught as my first encounter. Yeah, it was the first Pokemon I had caught. I caught it on the route where you, well, the first route, I think. No, it was the route where you battle May. The first encounter that I actually caught, I failed because it was a legendary, I think. But yeah, the Primplup died because her first Pokemon was a Wobbuffet, and the Wobbuffet used Payback, or whatever move it has, Mirror Coat. They used Mirror Coat, that's the move. And it's pretty devastated. It's just like, Roxanne, you are the worst. But then the TM she gave me after the battle was V-Create, and I suddenly forgave her. Which, the Pokemon that I currently had on the team that could learn V-Create was, Dusclops. I almost said spoiler alert there, but, you know, obviously it's not on YouTube, but yeah, Dusclops ended up being my second death. But I had like 4 different Pokemon that could learn V-Create. My third death happened to be an Alakazam that I had on my team. That was like my MVP in the time era that it was on my team. And then, the final Pokemon on my team that died, the final Pokemon that I had for that playthrough that died, I only had 4 deaths, which was pretty impressive, but actually I had 5, never mind, because one of my Pokemon died in the Elite Four. That was the Minun I had. But the 4th Pokemon that had died during the playthrough was the Camerupt. That was randomized Latios, which made me pretty sad, but it lost to... I don't even remember what it lost to. I think I remember being embarrassed that I had lost it to whatever it lost to, but you'd think I'd remember a lot more of this stuff considering I did this playthrough in 2 days, but I guess that is kind of excusable, because when you take in all that information in a short amount of time, you kind of forget a majority of it, because you got too much entering your brain for memories. Alright, I won't go out of the gym to heal completely, but I will use potions, because we do not need to battle that last trainer down there. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna get everybody up to level 21 before the next episode. So Because, you know, this whole different level thing isn't cutting it, especially since experience share doesn't come until later. And until Black 2 and White 2, I guess we do have to battle this trainer. Until Black 2 and White 2, experience share was only for one party member at a time. That's Black 2 and White. No, Black 2 and White 2 is the game that added the shiny charm. The first game that had experience share for everybody, which is basically just experience EXP all from Generation 1, but with even amounts of experience, was Generation 6. Alright, so the first Pokemon is... the only Pokemon this trainer has is a Charmander. That's alright. Wow. Crit for Nala. Good job, Nala. I was about to say I didn't expect that bite to kill a Charmander, but it was a crit. Take that, preschooler Rachel. Going down with the other 4-year-olds that I've battled over the years. I can't remember which series it was. I think... oh yeah, it was Platinum, because I made a whole thumbnail about it. The team... Galactic Grunts, and the team... I mean, the Pokemon Platinum Randomizer Nuzlocke that I had on the channel a few series ago. The Grunt class was randomized to preschoolers, so every team Galactic Grunt that I battled throughout the playthrough was a preschooler. So Whitney normally has a Clefairy. That's her first Pokemon, right? She usually has a Clefairy and a MILTANK. Her first Pokemon in this case is a Pseudo-Widow, because of the beautiful art of randomization. And whatever her MILTANK got randomized to will of course be much better than actual MILTANK. That's the good thing about randomizing Generation 2. You have a very high chance of not having to deal with the MILTANK at all that is as threatening as Whitney's normal MILTANK. I feel bad for anybody who had to actually deal with a MILTANK in a randomizer, thinking that they got escaped the clutches of evil, but then Whitney's MILTANK makes a surprise return from somebody else's team. So let's see what her MILTANK actually is in this series, in this playthrough. I think it would be hilarious if it's like a Clefable. Ivysaur, okay. I didn't mean to say Clefable, I meant to say Cleffa, but it's an Ivysaur, which means enter Olga. Olga is about to be useful because Ivysaur happens to be a poison type, and Olga, I feel like a sports announcer, and here comes Olga. Olga unfortunately had to replace our Farfetch'd, which was named Tay, after Tay had died in Bugsy's gym, but not against Bugsy, not against Bugsy. Bugsy wasn't as much of a challenge, but the real challenge came from one of his grunts, when that grunt happened to kill Tay the Farfetch'd. But now we have Olga. Is this Confusion gonna pull it off? Not quite. Confusion is not the greatest Psychic type move, and the fact that we're 3 levels lower than this Ivysaur is bad news bears, but we can pull through this. Unfortunately, Olga is poisoned now, but that will not stop Olga. Olga is one strong and smart cookie. Thankfully, Confusion on the Ivysaur. Ivysaur has a Lumberry, so I guess that was for nothing, fellas. Poison brings down Olga to 35. Oh, and it looks like Whitney's finally being a crybaby, just like the prophecy foretells. Just imagine, there's just a book that was written like 300 BC that was written by some wizard or something, and just foretells the future of Johto. It's just like, oh yeah, and then there's gonna be that one word I won't say on my channel that cries when she loses. Oh, and by the way, there's 2 of them, but one of them doesn't actually cry. She just sends you to Dragon Cave as a 10-year-old just because she can't accept defeat. Haha, you're crying. Imagine being weaker than a 10-year-old. I guess we have to, go out here. I don't like the fact that poison hits every time. Is it? Hopefully this is like the regular Sinnoh games where it has you survive on 1 HP and the poison disappears. Because I don't know if we're going to make it back to the PMC before the health gets completely drained. Alright, what is this TM? We've had Ice-type TM so far, so let's see what this one is. I was gonna say, what if it's V-Create, but silly Landon, V-Create wouldn't exist until Generation 5, you fool. That's Victini's signature move. Alright, Whitney, what'd you give us? Belly Drum. You really did something for us, Whitney. If I had a Snorlax, heck yeah, I'd be happy about that. But as you can see, I don't have a Snorlax. So that really doesn't... Yep, thankfully. Thankfully, they kept that. And then in Generation 5, they're just like, hey, what if we just make it so, you know, poison doesn't affect the user after a battle? But yeah, usually gyms don't take up the full episode, but since I got kind of lost in that one, it did this time. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. So if you did enjoy, make sure you slap that like button, subscribe if you're brand new to the channel, ring that notification bell so you can get notified about future episodes of this series and other videos on my channel. Answer that question of the day down below. My computer is so dumb. This is Infernum, I'm burning out, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.